Hi everyone, my name is Emily and welcome to another Lancaster Safety webinar. Today we're going to be going over the OSHA inspection process. We understand it can be really overwhelming and we're really just here to help you. We'll go over some reasons why OSHA conducts inspections. We'll review OSHA complaints versus OSHA inspections. We'll give you an overview of the inspection process itself, and then we'll go over some citations and penalties and how to understand those. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that you understand the material provided in this webinar is for general information purposes only. Please note that each OSHA inspection will be different depending on your industry, site hazards, and severity of the violations found. And lastly, LSCI cannot guarantee citation reclassification, penalty reduction, or overall deletion of citations. So with that being said, let's get started. OSHA cannot inspect all 7 million workplaces it covers each year. The agency seeks to focus its inspection resources on the most hazardous workplaces in the following order of priority. So number one are imminent danger situations, and these inspections include hazards that could cause death or serious physical harm, and those receive top priority. Number two are serious injuries and illnesses, and these inspections occur directly after a fatality, reportable injury, or illness. Number three are worker complaints, and we'll talk more about those types of inspections in detail a little bit later. Number four are referrals, and these inspections occur when referrals of hazards stem from another federal, state, or local agency, individual, or organization. Number five are targeted inspections, and that's where OSHA will analyze data in certain NAICS codes to conduct targeted inspections. These inspections are aimed at specific high-hazard industries or individual workplaces that have experienced high rates of injuries. Lastly, we have follow-up inspections, and during this type is when OSHA will check for abatement of violations cited during previous inspections. So here's a good question. Do all employee OSHA complaints become OSHA inspections? OSHA carefully prioritizes all complaints it receives based on their severity. So for example, for high priority hazards, OSHA will most likely conduct an inspection. But then for lower priority hazards, with permission of a complainant, OSHA may telephone the employer to describe safety and health concerns and then follow up with a fax providing details on alleged safety and health hazards. But keep in mind, OSHA will not provide the employer the name of the employee who sent in the complaint or the referral. So here's where we're going to dive into the overview of the inspection process itself. So before conducting an inspection, OSHA compliance officers research the inspection history of a worksite using various data sources, and they review the operations and processes in use and the standards most likely to apply. They gather appropriate personal protective equipment and testing instruments to measure potential hazards. Your company should designate a company representative to accompany the compliance officer during the opening conference and walk-around process. The representative should be an employee at the company who is well-versed in the operations at the facility. They should be one who recognizes safety and health hazards and can have access to all documents that OSHA may request during the inspection. For example, the opening conference, the compliance officer may request specific documentation related to the inspection and expect for it to be immediately available to be reviewed. So contact LSCI if you desire for us to provide an overview of your occupational safety and health program. The designated representative shall present all documentation that OSHA requests to review and only that information. Providing more information than requested may seem like a good idea at the time, but it can actually also uncover other issues in OSHA's eyes. Here are a few common items the compliance officer may request depending on the type of the inspection. For example, if the inspection is in result of a severe injury on the job site, the compliance officer will most likely ask you for a copy of your accident investigation form. Please keep in mind that the documents requested will vary on the type of inspection and industry. You should also present safety committee paperwork and any other written materials that demonstrate your company's good faith efforts to comply with the applicable OSHA standards. An authorized representative of the employees, if any, also has the right to go along during the walkthrough. In any case, the compliance officer will consult privately with a reasonable number of employees during the inspection. Following the opening conference, the compliance officer and the representative will walk through the portions of the workplace covered by the inspection, looking for hazards that could lead to employee injury or illness. During that time, compliance officers may point out some apparent violations that can be corrected immediately. While the law requires that these hazards must still be cited, prompt correction is a sign of good faith on the part of the employer. And always give LSCI a call upon conclusion of the inspection. OSHA has up to 6 months to issue citations, and if you happen to receive those, we'll work with you to provide abatement assistance by providing appropriate abatement methods for the citations and support you with the informal conference with OSHA. Lastly, employee interviews may actually be conducted at any time during the walkthrough or follow-up visits, and management is not permitted to sit in on these interviews. So no citations are issued on the same day of an OSHA inspection. For each apparent violation found during the inspection, the compliance officer has discussed or will discuss the following with you. They'll go over the nature of the violation, possible abatement measures you may take to correct the condition, possible abatement dates you might be required to meet, and then any penalties that the area director may issue. So notify LSCI for us to walk you through the next steps of the process. This is sometimes where clients get confused, overwhelmed, and again, I'll reiterate this, we are here to help you. So always give us a call if you have any questions. All OSHA notification citation packets are sent certified. And if you agree to the citation and notification of penalty, you must correct the condition by the date set in the citation and pay the penalty if one is proposed. If you don't agree with it, you actually have 15 working days from the date you receive the citation to contest it in writing. However, before deciding to contest the citation, you may request an informal conference with the OSHA area director within the 15 working day period to discuss any issues related to the citation and notification of penalty. So to prepare for an informal conference, work with your LSCI representative to set up a date and time for the informal conference at the local area office within the 15 working day deadline. Post the notice to employees of informal conference found in your citation packet near the citations with the accurate date and time. And then again, discuss with your LSCI representative your main concerns of the citations, whether it's the classification, standard cited, abatement deadlines, overall penalty, or all of the above. Abatement is the correction of the safety or health hazard violation that led to the OSHA inspection. You'll want to review the methods of abatement and prepare a plan with your LSCI representative on how to correct proposed violations. So lastly, we're going to go over the citation classifications. The first one is willful, and that's a willful violation exists under the OSHA Act where an employee has demonstrated either an intentional disregard for the requirements of the OSHA Act or just a plain indifference to employee safety and health. A repeat violation is when an employer may be cited if that employer has been cited previously within the last 5 years for the same or substantially similar condition or hazard, and the citation has become a final order of the Occupational Safety and Health Review Commission. A serious violation shall be deemed to exist in a place of employment if there's a substantial probability that death or serious physical harm could result from a condition which exists, or from one or more practices, means, methods, operations, or processes that have been adopted. Other than serious is a type of violation in situations where the accident or incident or illness that would be most likely to result from a hazardous condition would probably not cause death or serious physical harm, but would have a direct and immediate relationship to the safety and health of employees. A failure to abate violation exists when a previously cited hazardous condition, practice, or non-complying equipment has not been brought into compliance since the prior inspection. Lastly, de minimis conditions are those where an employer has implemented a measure different from one specified in the standard that has no direct or immediate relationship to safety or health. And these conditions don't usually result in citations or penalties. And so here are the penalty amounts adjusted for inflations as of January 13th, 2017. States that operate their own occupational safety and health plans are required to adopt maximum penalty levels that are at least as effective as federal OSHA's. So after classification as serious or other than serious and the gravity-based penalty have been determined for each violation, the penalty reduction factors shall be applied subject to the following limitations. Penalties proposed for violations classified as repeated shall be reduced only for size. Penalties proposed for violations classified as willful shall be reduced only for size and history. And then penalties proposed for serious violations classified as high severity or greater probability shall be reduced only for size and history. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen in today. If you have any further questions, please call LSCI at 888-403-6026, and we'll be happy to help you. Also, follow us on social media for more news updates and safety information, or provide us feedback on either Google or Facebook. We really appreciate your time and hope you'll take advantage of our monthly safety and health webinars. Everyone is invited to attend, and they're always free. Just visit our website or click the link on your screen for more information. Thank you, and have a safe day.